April 26, 1986, 1:23 a.m. While 50,000 people in Pripyat slept peacefully, history held its breath. The air changed. There was no sound, only the taste of metal in the mouth. This is not a story about atoms. This is a story about human arrogance. About a system that believed it was infallible. And the terrible price we paid for that lie. Welcome to Chernobyl, the place where time ceased to exist. Just hours before, Pripyat was the city of the future. The average age of its residents? Only 26 years old. The shelves were full, and children played in the City of Roses. The azure swimming pool was their pride, a symbol of health and strength. No one looked at the power plant with fear. It was their provider. But beneath the concrete and steel, reactor number 4 was waiting. In Control Room 4, the safety test was 10 hours behind schedule. Anatoly Dyatlov was a man who did not accept no for an answer. The young engineers were exhausted. The power levels were dropping too fast. Xenon pit, the reactor, was choking. The rules said, stop. Dyatlov said, continue. They pulled the control rods. The brakes were released. The reactor became an unstable beast that no one could control. 1:23 and 40 seconds, Akimov presses the AZ-5 button. It was supposed to shut down the reactor, but the design had a fatal flaw. The graphite tips entered first. Instead of extinguishing the fire, they poured gasoline on it. In a split second, the power surged to levels the instruments couldn't even measure. A lid weighing 1,000 tons was tossed into the air like a coin. And then, silence and the deadly blue glow of ionized air. The firefighters arrived within minutes. They thought it was just a roof fire. They wore no protective suits, only canvas uniforms. They walked straight into the jaws of the beast. Vasily Ignatenko saw something strange on the ground. Black, shiny pieces of graphite. He didn't know it was the core of the reactor. Every piece was emitting enough Roentgens to kill a man in an hour. By dawn, the color of their faces had changed. Nuclear tan. The first sign of death. They were taken to Hospital Number 6 in Moscow. They were heroes, dying in plastic chambers. Back in Pripyat, life went on. People went to the market, while invisible ash fell on their hair. The authorities stayed silent for 36 hours. They feared panic more than radiation. When the buses finally arrived, they were told it is only for 3 days. They took only documents and some food. They left everything. Memories, photos, lives. The most terrifying sound that day was not the siren, but the barking of dogs. Pets were not allowed. thousands were left behind to wait for owners who would never return. Then the battle began. 600,000 men. They called them the Liquidators. 3 divers volunteered to drain the water beneath the reactor. A suicide mission. If the molten core hit the water, the steam explosion would have destroyed half of Europe. Helicopters flew directly over the open core, dropping sand and lead. But the roof was the worst. Robots malfunctioned from the radiation. They had to use bio-robots. Men in lead vests weighing 30 kilos. They had only 90 seconds. Run, grab the graphite, throw it down, run back. For 90 seconds, they absorbed a lifetime dose. Underground, miners from Tula dug a tunnel to prevent the core from melting through. They worked without protection. In 50-degree heat, they knew the risk. They did it anyway. Finally, they built the sarcophagus, a concrete tomb for a beast that will never die. Today, Pripyat is quieter than ever, but it is not dead. Nature has reclaimed what we destroyed. Wolves and horses run where children once played. The forest turned red, then green again. Life finds a way, even in the poison. Dolls in kindergarten still lie where they fell in 1986, frozen in time. The bumper cars never moved again. The Ferris wheel never took a single passenger. In 2022, tanks rolled through the zone again, stirring up the sleeping dust. The world held its breath once more, remembering the invisible fire. Chernobyl is not just history, it is a warning. A warning that science without conscience and power without responsibility lead only to ruin. The truth does not care about our needs. This was a simulated saga. Remember, the truth always surfaces